welcome back to Wendy's Colouring, and today we're having a look at these. So Arrtx have kindly sent me some Arrtx Oros sketch markers. So these are the brush and chisel version, and I've never had any Arrtx alcohol markers before. This is a new thing for me, so I was really interested to see what they're like and how they work, and you know how they compare, because there's a lot of alcohol markers out there on the market, isn't it? So it's quite interesting to see how another set come. And I think the first thing I thought was really nice was this lovely box that they came in. So you've got just a normal box, obviously, but it has like this kind of faux leather kind of handle thing going on, which you can shove up the sides, do both of them, and then it will slide off and you can actually tilt open the box. As you can see, I've already done my swatch, but it does mean that obviously alcohol markers, we're keeping them on the side. You can then slide that back down again, which means that when you turn it on its side, it's keeping that lid nice and closed for you. So this is a storage system, if I can talk, that you can actually just keep on your shelf, and it's perfectly usable. Obviously now I can open it like that. I could have it on my desk permanently on the side like that, so that you get that little view like that. And the other thing that I thought was really nice about this system is, yes, these are all markers in a box, and I did think when I opened it, oh, just markers in a box, so when I take out the bottom one they're all going to fall. But no, because this has those little plastic dividers at the bottom of the box, so when I take out this one, whatever it is, 124, as you can see, all the others do not fall in its place because they're all in their little plastic slots at the bottom, and they're reasonably easy to get back into the slot, as you can see. So this is a permanent storage solution for you. You can have it open on your desk like that, you can have it on your shelf. I have a few little shelves here at the front of me. I can easily have that on the shelf there, and it doesn't need to have any storage solution bought for it because it's coming with the solution. I suppose if you were finding the lid annoying, it is obviously just card, so you could theoretically just get a knife on the side and cut the whole top off if you want it as a permanent storage solution and you don't want to carry it about. I actually quite like that you can pop the lid on and then you've got a handle and you can take it with you. Like, I'm thinking it'd be a good set to, you know, if I just want to just sit down in front of the TV downstairs and take it downstairs. It's a storage solution I can move quite easily, and that's quite a rare thing in itself, isn't it? So I have to say, first impressions, I was quite impressed, and I do really like, look how nice they look in the box. I've got to be honest, it did not come in this order. It was a complete mix-up of orders. So when I did my little swatch, which we'll have a look at now, I did take them all out and put them in the swatch order. So I thought it gives me a bit more of a chance, because I don't know this colour, number, brands. I thought it gives me a bit of a chance to find the colours that I want to. So I've literally put my box in the order of the swatch. So it kind of gives you, let's have a look at the swatch, just make it a little bit easier. Let's move that out of the way, then it doesn't keep focusing on that instead. So you kind of got the first chunk of your colours are definitely kind of bright, bold, traditional colours. Then you've got a section that I would describe as a few kind of skin tones, ignoring the fluorescent green and pink there in the middle, but there's a few kind of skinny tones in there, and then a whole range of pastels, quite useful as well. And then obviously we're into different types of grey, so you've got some warm grey, you've got some cool grey, and then you've got a few of the strange kind of blue grey, green grey sections as well. So you've got a little bit of everything in this box. I think my initial impression when I opened it was this would be a great kind of starter box for someone. So maybe you've had some really cheap alcohol markers and you've actually enjoyed them, but you think you're ready for something that's a little bit better quality and just be a bit more pleasant to use. I think this is a great, that kind of midpoint box for a starter, that's somebody that's developing their interest into it, and you want that better quality feel to your pen and just better ink and all of that kind of thing. I think this just feels like a nice quality product to work with. Pen wise, let's get a colour we can see against my skin. Again, I think the pens feel nice quality. It doesn't feel like cheap plastic, if you know what I mean. It feels like it's well made. You've got, obviously, on the marker, you've got printing on one side only, so you've got little bullet image, obviously the name, the branding, and your little brush marker. There isn't anything on the pen that, you know, on other sides you will have to flip it to that side to see where the brush is and where the chisel is. There isn't one of those stripes like some brands have. Marker wise, you've got a pretty chunky chisel. It is quite a large, I would say quite thick chisel, but it is tapered on the end. Cap wise, look how thick that cap is. It is not a thin, nasty, cheap plastic lid. It's quite a chunky lid. You can't kind of squash it and change it, and they do close with a good click, and I would say they're really easy to take off. There are a few markers on the market that I find very difficult to actually take on and off. And then brush wise, again, quite a nice, reasonably large brush. I think it's a fibre tip, though I've not kind of squashed one to find out and break it because I don't want to do that. But yeah, quite a nice nib on it. I think it is really nice, and again, closes really nicely. A little bit of attention to detail on the ends there. It's not just like a cutout, it's almost like a little petal or cloud. Could be clouds, I think, looking at it. Little like cloud cutout on the end, which I think, again, it's just a nice little attention to detail, isn't it? Just makes it feel like it's been thought about a little bit more. And then you have the number, try and avoid the glare, you have the number on both sides, so it's reasonably easy, whichever way you've put it back into the box, to find the colour point that you want. And I would say these are really quite nice and clear printed, so when you've got a dark colour, they've printed it in white, but when you've got something that's a little bit lighter, they've used a bit of common sense and they've printed it in black on those ones. So all the markers, when you look at them in the box, are pretty easy to kind of read the numbers, even from a distance, even with my getting old eyes. I think it's quite easy to find the colour that you're looking for, particularly when you're trying to get used to a new set of markers that you've not perhaps used before. I think there's a lot of nice design gone on with it, and like I say, quite a nice colour palette to start off with. Are there probably colours missing? Of course, it's a box of 90 and there's some very big sets of alcohol markers out there, aren't there? So depending what you're used to using, this is probably a lot more or a little bit less than you're used to using, but I think it's quite a nice range of colours to get you started and to start thinking about. So we've got a few purples and we've got a nice pale lavender to go with. Got quite a few reds, not spoilt for reds. Probably that's the only kind of orange tone, the vermilion, I would say. A few yellows, from a kind of mustard to bright to more kind of lemon flavours. A few greens, you've got 4 greens, plus you've got a few kind of pastel-y greens. I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pastel-y greens. There's quite a lot of pastel-y pinks, and we've got a range of kind of pinks, purples. Blues, got quite a nice range, and again quite a lot of pastel-y blues all the way through to greys. Good range of browns, and obviously you've got blacks and the various different grey palettes. So yeah, I think everything's kind of touched with it. What I thought I'd do today to try them out is, I've not worked in this yet, this little cute Christmas book, Colouring World, so I thought I'd have a go at doing a colouring in this with you, with them. Do need to pick a page. I do quite like that little cheeky bear. He's quite nice, and he's got a nice little jumper on. Oh, we've got a penguin, elf. Decisions. I did just get this little book from my local supermarket. I picked it up thinking it was Colouring Heaven's little pocket book, but it's only when I've looked at it back here on my desk I realised, maybe it's not. That said, I do quite like the paper. I think I might go with that little polar bear, you know, because I quite liked him, and he hasn't got these funny eyes. He's got normal eyes. I'm not a lover for these weird, I think they're like manga eyes, aren't they? That's what they are. These are quite cute though as well. I might go snow. I think we'll go snow. Let's do that. I'm going to crack this open and probably make my book fall apart, but you know, sacrifices are necessary. I've got that out just to test my colours a little bit, and I'm going to slide my pens out and have that in front of me. Can that go back a little bit? Probably it can, so that we'll have a look. So I need to start thinking about colour palettes so we can try these out a little bit. So we've definitely got snow to do, so I want some nice light blues, of which we have quite a few. So I think I'm going to pick that out. Frost blue, maybe 185 pale blue, and they are next to each other because I put them in this order. I don't want anything that's like super strong blue, but I'm thinking I want something with a bit more blue in. So maybe pick that one out. What number is it? 76, which is there. So I might try those out. But let's just have a look how they blend first. So the lightest is 182, which is that one. So this is just a mixed media pad that I'm working on. So it's probably not the best blending material for alcohol markers, but let's be honest, bearing in mind most of us are working alcohol markers on Amazon paper, we've kind of got to get used to not working on the best paper for alcohol markers, haven't we? So, and 185 is the middle one, isn't it? They're nice and smooth, these nibs. This is quite a smooth paper pad that I've got. There's not a huge amount of texture in it, but these do feel quite nice on it. I would say these are a fibre nib. Although I don't know, they might not be, you know. Difficult to tell, isn't it, until you kind of work in with them. But that's quite a nice little blend. I generally go light to dark when I'm blending. It's personal choice. Some people prefer to go dark and then lighten it up as they go. I tend to go chicken way and go lighter into dark, but I think we're going to use that for my snow. Then I've got sky, and because we've got kind of, is it stars or stars and snow? So I'm thinking maybe a darker sky. So what have we got? We've got Napoleon that's quite dark, so I might do the sky in Napoleon. I think we'll do that later, but I'm going to do these kind of snow layers. I'm just going to budge my box over a little bit just so that I can get you a bit more central, and we might bring you in just a little bit. But I've got these 4 out, so 182, 185 and 76, and 182 is my lightest. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to contradict myself and go in with the darker bit on this, just because I don't want a huge amount of the dark on these little layers. I'm literally just going to add tiny bit at the bottom, and mainly working with these 2 lighter ones just to blend that out straight away in my little layers. And just take a bit up there into the shadow and a little bit around the back of his body. And I have not put anything behind this page like an idiot. Let's find a bit of scrap. I think I'd know better really, wouldn't you? But I've just probably destroyed something. Alright, some llama and a cactus. Oh, it's in the sky, so it'll be dark anyway. Who cares? These things happen. Where's my lightest one? That one. Just wanted to put another layer of that one on. And then we might see how that dries, I think. Just don't want too much of that dark one. Nope, wrong way. Wrong way. I'll just blend that one out. Sorry, we're a bit on the on the slide, aren't we? So again, back in with my dark one. I don't want loads, I just want a tiny bit at the bottom. A little bit more up at the top. Won't need any more of that one. 8.5 is the next one up. And some people do prefer a bit of plastic underneath your page rather than paper. I personally don't like the plastic underneath. Yes, you probably do save some ink putting the plastic underneath it rather than paper, but I don't like it when it's kind of touching the plastic and then coming back up in odd places. I find that a bit annoying with my colouring, being a bit of a control freak like I am, so I always use paper behind. Probably it does waste some ink, but it gives me a bit more control, and I don't want unexpected kind of bleed back from the back, so that's how I personally prefer it. Obviously all these layers are going to be the same, so I'm going to continue to work through these, but I'll probably fast forward you, because once you've seen one of these snow layers, probably that's enough. So yeah, I'll see you at the end of the snow. I'm going to do all of these bits and then I'll get back to you. There we go. Okay, so I think we're pretty much done. I did kind of ditch the very dark one because I was using the very dark one down here, but I think the contrast is a little bit more than I wanted. So the rest of these I've just done in these two paler ones that I quite like. I wasn't sure about these tree shapes here, so here I have just done it as snow, but I think I might put a bit of kind of evergreen in that one. I could always put the evergreen over the top of that one if I want to. We'll see how it goes. I think I'm going to be brave and put a bit of evergreen on that little bit. So I'm going to pull out that blue, Napoleon Blue 72 is the darkest one, I think. Just for that bit of, this bit of paper does not want to stay in there of my book. Just going to pull that out, literally just going to flat that in. Again, I'll probably pop you on fast forward because it's no great shakes watching me just flat colour this in. Okay, so now I think I want something for these kind of hilltops, mountain tops, although they've done dots the same like it's his jumper, but I'm not doing his jumper the same. So I want some kind of distant mountain in winter colour. I'm thinking maybe potato brown, or maybe some of these warm greys because they're a bit softer, aren't they? I might go with these warm greys, you know. WG4, top one, maybe WG2. Do I want that one? 5. Those kind of feel like they're the wrong way round, don't they? That feels darker than this one to me. Or am I imagining it? Let's have a looky on my pad. So I think 4 is darkest. Let's have a look. Five. It's going to confuse me though. Is that the middle one? I think I'm going to go with 2 and 5. Let me just check. But they will go into each other nicely. Yeah, they're nice together, aren't they? I think we'll ditch 4. Which Doesn't seem... Oh, I'm taking a whole book with me now. Ah, come back. So we'll do that with the mountains. So 5 is my darker one. Because I don't want the colour to be too rich in the background, because I want him to be my main focus, I think. What I have noticed, and it could be the paper rather than the pens, these don't seem to be bleeding a huge amount. Obviously the line work in this little book is quite thin, but I'm not getting a huge amount of overbleed over the lines, which says to me there's a good amount of actual colour in these pens rather than just loads of alcohol, which is what you want, because you want it to move, but you don't want it to move everywhere, do we? Which, with a lot of cheaper ones, you definitely get a lot more movement and not necessarily where you want it to be. Although, in these days of so many acrylic markers, you can always touch things up reasonably easy, even if you get a bit of overbleed. But as you can see, I'm going pretty much up to the line. I'm not really getting a huge amount of bleed through. Got a little bit there, but I think that was me being clumsy rather than the pen. So a little bit over the blend. Do I want to use these colours anywhere else? Wondering about the stone on the building. Might use the one I've heaved out for that one with... might try it with one. It's going to be a bit of a jump, but we'll see. Might need to work back over this. This could be a mistake. Just didn't want the bricks to look exactly the same as the mountains. Plus they are nearer to us, so I want the colour a little bit darker. Let's try with this. Ooh, get out of my way, pen. It's a bit of a colour jump, this. I don't mind it though. I might just dot in a little bit. Just for a bit of kind of stony texture. Okay. Wood. Do I want the wood more brown? I'm going to keep with them. I suppose the wood should be a bit warmer. That pen is being naughty. Maybe the walnut for some of the wood. What colour is that? 100. I might just add a bit of texture with 103 over the top, we'll see. Again, bit of a colour jump, but going with it. The other thing I have noticed that I didn't mention at the beginning, these are like a triangular pen, but they're like a rounded triangle, so they do only have 3 sides, but they're quite comfortable in your hand because of that. But because it's really rounded triangle, you kind of don't notice at first, but it does sit very nicely in your hand, that I quite like. Okay, let's see what this colour is like. It's got quite a green tinge to it when you first put it down. But I'm thinking I'm going to do something like that, where I put the colour down and then just draw a bit of kind of wood texture onto it. So we'll see. Sorry for turning you. just a bit easier to get into these triangle shapes. And I don't colour his ear in by accident. Do a few and then I'll come back while it's still a little bit wet. It might just vanish into it when it dries, we'll see. Might need something a bit darker. Yeah, I think I'm going to need something a bit darker against it. What's the darkest one? Chocolate 92. Let's see what that's like with it. Oh yeah, that's better, I think. I think we'll go with the 92, so let's put 103 back. Put this there. Yeah, it's definitely got a bit of kind of like a brown green, this colour. It's quite an interesting shade. Almost feels like it's not far off like a mossy green, but a little bit darker than that. It's quite a useful colour, that. Bit different. I quite like it. So to make these marks, I'm just literally the tiniest amount of pressure. I don't want a solid line, I just want kind of a little bit of mark making onto the surface. It's going to bleed a little bit because the green is still green. It's supposed to be a brown, isn't it? But that kind of greeny brown is still quite wet. So these lines will still bleed a little bit, which is what I want. Right, gotta do it sideways so I can see where I'm putting the line. There we go. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Now, dare I try a green on this bit of tree? Greens are quite dark in this set. Obviously we've got emerald is pretty much the lightest before we start to get to pastel, and we've got lime. Or I could go proper kind of evergreen, because we've definitely got greens that are like that. But those are quite far in the distance, so I don't want the colour to be too much in my face. So I think I'm going to go 55 and 175. 175. And just see. Might need to do a couple of coats of this, but we'll see. I don't want them too strong. I suspect trying to blend this green out is going to be a bit of a jump, because this is quite a difference in the colour, but we'll see. Catch it while it's really wet. See what it dries like. I'm not loving with the green ends there. I don't know whether to put a bit of green on that side. I think I do prefer those green, so maybe just put a little bit on that one. Just successfully drawn over my thumb. Okay, yeah, I quite like it with a little bit of green. So I've got a little bit more of the roof. I think I'm just going to use that darker brown, or maybe not one like that dark. We'll maybe go mahogany, 96, just for these little sections here. And then I will use that, if I get the right end, just to add a little bit more shadow into it. Right, so that just leaves this gentleman. So I want his jumper quite bright, but I think before I do his clothes, which is the bit that does interest me, I think I'm going to do him potato because I don't want him too strong. Have I got potato out? 103. Lost track. I think I was going to get it out, wasn't I? And then I changed my mind. So we'll do him potato. Again, it's a bit of a jump to a tone lighter than him. Might try baby skin. Oh, his flesh might be better. Mine, they're quite close colour wise. Let's try it with 139. Don't want a lot of highlight, but just at the top of his head I'd like a little bit. So let's see what that does. Let's get them the right way around. Again, it's a big jump this, colour wise. Might work, we'll try it. I suppose I could have left him as a little white bear, but I didn't. Might put him a little bit of shadow under there in a minute. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, it's a bit of a jump too high, isn't it? I don't think that's going to work. Let's just do him all one. I'll do him all one brown. Put another coat on there in a minute. What else can we say? His leggies. pull out one of those darker ones. This was 92, which is chocolate. I'm just going to add in a little bit of shadow here and there. A little bit on his ears. I want something lighter for his muzzle. And go back to one of these warm greys. Maybe 2. WG2. I'm thinking a little bit pinky in his cheeks, so I've just picked out 146 mauve shadow because the pinks in here are pretty strong pinks and I didn't want it quite so in your face. So we're just giving him a little bit of colour without going mad. I might just put a bit of 196 in as well, just to warm cheek up a little bit more. Cool. Okay, so we've got his jumper and his little candy cane to do. So candy cane, we're going to spoil it for choice. I think I'm going to go with that one, 12, which is coral red. Let's go with it. A little shadow on that. Maybe see if rose just adds a bit of shadow to it. Let's have a look. Just dotting in. Okay, his jumper, I want to buy some warm colours, so I was going to do his jumper red, but now I've got a candy cane that's red, so that's kind of messed my plan up. Could do his purpley, couldn't we? We've got some night. I love that light violet colour, that's quite nice. That might work quite nicely. Should we just stick with the red? I think I'm going to still stick with red. So I'll keep using 12. Might fish 14 out, which is that slight more orange red. Just for where I want slightly lighter bits. But we will have to put a bit of shadow behind my candy cane so that we don't kind of completely lose the candy cane in his jumper. But I want a red jumper. So I'm having a red jumper. I'm going to go back in with the darkest of the reds, the rose, just to get a bit more shadow in a few sections. These are all very juicy pens, and if you're not careful putting the lid on, you're going to get it everywhere. Don't hit the lid when you're putting the lid back on. And that is what I've done. I've hit the lid and now it's going everywhere, but it's my fault. Okay, so maybe I might do that striping reds as well. I think I'll do the whole of that striping red. And then a little bit of shadow. Got that arms. So we just need a bit of a contrast stripe for his jumper. Green. Shall we do Christmas green? I think we should. Deep green or Viridian. I might do Viridian, having just picked the wrong one out. Let's pop that one back. We'll do this one, I think. His little trim at his wrists. We just need something for his gloves. I don't know what colour I want his gloves. Maybe I'll just go with the little orange that I had out, or yellow. No, I'm going orange. I don't know why, but that's what I want. Again, I'm just going to use that red for a bit of shadow on his orange. And I'm thinking maybe I need just a smidgen of something in the candy cane. ABCG2, which is there. Okay, I've got the stars, what a nice bright yellow, 34. So I'm going to put just a dot orange in the centre of the stars. Probably shouldn't do them all at once, but I've done it. And then fill them in. And obviously the white ones, we don't need any more penning. Okay, I think I'm pretty much done with my alcohol markers with the Oros on here. So I'm just going to pause you a minute and put all the pens away because I've got Ken-mageddon here on my desk. And then we'll just go in with a little bit of acrylic marker just to finish him off for a bit of finishing touches. Back in a sec and I'll just tidy it up. Okay, so I've just pulled out my liquid ink acrylic markers by Arrtx. Just got the white out. Probably going to grab a couple more colours just to kind of do a little bit of work on the snow, just to finish it off. So I don't want the lines on the edges of my snow. So I'm going to line in the edges first, but then I'm going to add some dots, I think. The print in this book is quite dark, so if it takes 2 coats, that won't surprise me to get it to the point where I want it to be, because it's, like I say, it's a very dark print in this book, and it's quite a porous paper, so it kind of does suck the ink up. Although that said, it's doing alright so far, isn't it, this pen? So we'll see. See when it dries. I suspect it will need another coat, but we'll see. We shall see. It's alright, isn't it? So I'm going to do that on all the blue spaces. Again, I'll pop you on fast forward because this is going to take me a little bit of time, and I'm basically doing the same thing over and over. So I'm just whiting the edge of the snow, and then I'm adding just a little bit of texture into the surface so that it looks a little bit more snow-like. So yeah, I'll see you in a minute. It'll take me a bit longer than a minute, but I'll fast forward it for you because it's going to take a while, and I'm doing the same thing over and over. Okay, I think that's probably enough for the snow. Oh, I've not done the bits in the sky. We'll do that in a minute anyway. So I'm thinking I need to do something with the greens. Let me lift my tray of pens in to see what I've got green-wise that can go with the trees. Just want to take the top, at least the top of the trees out. So I might try that. 503, if I can find it. 503, that was a good guess. Don't think this is a perfect colour match. I just need to be careful where I put my hand now because I've got quite a bit of white pen that's wet. A lot of dots that are wet. It's a little bit lighter than I want this really, but I might put some white on like it's snowing on them anyway, so I might still live with it. Yeah, I can live with that. It's not too bad, is it? Let's put that back. And what else do we need? I need something for his jumper. So reds. Have a look at the reds. Got quite a lot of reds in here, but and there's these as well. I'm thinking that one, 247. Where are you? 247. Not in that tray, maybe. 252, 239. Why can I not find it? Oh, because it's out the other tray. It's not out of this tray. Wait up. Because it's out the smaller box. That's why I can't find it. Being stupid. 247 is that one. I need to put all these in one box so I've got them all together. Give them a good shake because they have been sat, and acrylic pigments will always settle. So let's have a look. Oh yeah, it's a good match colour wise. That is what we want. Take the green lines out with the red just as it's not a bad match. Okay, so I need a green for his jumper. Have I got one? 589. Then I just want some browns for his body. It's really just for his head. I don't mind it so much on his legs, but his head, the line is very visible on his head. Not a great colour match for him. I think I'll have to try 288. So many trays of pens. 380. I'll pause you while I find the right pen. Ugh, making pen decisions is so difficult sometimes. So I've got two out, 288 and 2610. I'm not sure which I prefer. I think I'm going to go with that one. We'll go with, what's this, 288. It's not totally the colour I want, but it'll just knock his black background back a little bit. Oh, it's okay. I don't mind it now I see it on the... Now I'm leaning in the wet paint. Oh. I want to do his legs. Oh, I've started, haven't I? So I kind of think his legs are alright, but I've done the rest, so just the line on his leg is very thick. Thicker on the pen nib. Okay, I think we're nearly there, aren't we? The chimney feels like it's sticking out quite badly with the lines on that, so I do want something. I don't want to get rid of the lines because you would expect the lines, but I do want them just knocked a bit quieter. Just try and find that 715. 730. 715. Let's see what this is like. Oh, maybe 730 might be better looking at it. Let's grab that as well. So have them both ready. Let's see. That's quite light, maybe a little bit lighter than I want that. Try the slightly darker one. Yeah, that's more like it. That's a better colour match as well for the stone effect. better. And the chimney isn't sticking out quite so badly, is it? And just a little bit on the woodwork. Missed a bit of his green there. And that should have been a white line really, but we started in the brown, so we'll carry on. Get the green back out just for the edge of his jumper. Just do the lines. And the trees a little bit. We're nearly there then. Not so much to do. A bit lighter than I wanted this, but it'll do. Right, I need yellow for my stars. Do I want a yellow or do I want an orange? I think we'll try T12 and we'll see whether I prefer an orange, but we'll go with the yellow first. Oh, yellow's quite nice, isn't it? And we'll do the white stars while I remember. Bits of snow. While sticking my finger in the yellow that I've just done like an idiot. smudge it, just annoying. Look at that, I'm such an idiot. Let's get the marker back out. Ah. Let's fix the yellow first. What colour is that marker? 72. Is it dry before I get acrylic marker on my nib? Because I don't want to ruin my nib. Not ideal to have to do this. And obviously we're covering acrylic, so it's not going to work perfectly, but if you're clumsy like me and you put your arm in wet paint, these things you have to do. What else do I want to do? Oh, I'll just black his eye a bit more. Because the print in this book on his eyes isn't quite as black as I would like. I'll do his little mouth. It's a bit better. Now he's got little spots on his jumper and he's got pattern on his rest of his jumper, so I'm thinking I'm just going to use a bit of a gel pen. So this is just an Arrtx one, gel impact gold, bold font, 1mm. I quite like these. They've been very reliable pens. I don't know how well they'll cover that. Oh, they will cover the black quite nicely, just for a bit of decoration on his jumper. I think I might do the dots in the gold as well on his jumper. Do the lines underneath as well, I think. This is where I'm in danger of smudging it again. I'm going to turn him upside down, sorry. Just don't trust myself. Well, he's nearly getting there, isn't he? These dots are going to be a bit annoying. But I'm trying to keep my hand off the page and not smudge it to do the little texture in his jumper. think I've got them all. No, I didn't do the little chimney pots, did I? Now I see it. Fortunately, I hadn't put the pen away. And then we've just got the little dots in the mountains, so I just want something a little bit darker than that I've used. Maybe that would be good. 380. So we've got a purple tray. That one. Kind of getting rid of them. We'll get rid of the line of the mountain with it, I think. I could do something a bit darker because it's kind of losing the texture, that. Ooh. Don't want to knock the trays over. This might be a bit dark. Let's have a look. It is, but I'll go with it, I think. I think I'm nearly calling him done. I might just get a bit of stickles. Hold on. Okay, so I just got a bit of stickles out. This one's crystal to just sparkle up my bit of snow a little bit. Don't use it a huge amount in my books because I don't love the texture when you're working on a page that's in front of it, but this is a single-sided book, so you can always just put a few bits of paper in between and hopefully should be okay. It's not a book I'm too precious about. I might have some in my stars, why not? It's not stars, it's snow, that bit, Wendy. Why do I keep saying that? Layers, a little bit there, maybe on the edge of my house. Yep, oh, I missed the top of that one. And yeah, I think I'm gonna call him done. It's obviously very wet now. Look, there is our little bear, all done with the snow, nice and sparkly, with his candy cane, all ready for Christmas. Using the lovely Arrtx Oros markers. I'm just going to tidy up and I'll shove him back just a sec. Zoom out a bit so we can actually see what we're doing. So yeah, this is my finished little bear with my lovely Oros markers in the nice little box. Really quite impressed with them. Nice, easy organisation, has made them easy to use. I shall pop any links for them that I have down in the description as well, so you can have a look at them and see what you think. But yeah, I've enjoyed using them. They've been good on this little page. So thanks very much to Arrtx. It's been a fun experiment. Quite impressed with them. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. So thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.